Well, for probably 30 or 40 years, I've used this 17-inch drill press, this 12-speed Craftsman drill press, and it's served me well. But the problem with it is that to change speeds, you have to open this up and loosen up the motor, change the belt positions. It looks like it's missing a clip there. And, you know, and this looks like this is a replacement. I don't remember that. But it looks awfully new, and it's got a part number on it. So maybe this got fixed at one point. Used to have the key tied to it. Guess I didn't like that anymore. I do have the key. There's the key. I'll probably stick it in the chuck. I'm hoping to donate this to a local trade school or to somebody just getting out of school that needs a good-sized drill press. Me, I'm replacing it with something much more modern, which I'm going to show you now. This is what I'm replacing it with. I got it through the garage door, but not up my 2 steps. It's a Bauer, also a 17-inch, but it's variable speed without having to change belts. The trick is that it's 180 pounds plus the packaging. So I think I'm going to have to open it up there and carry it in piece by piece. I'm just not going to make it up to 2 steps by myself, and it's not worth trying because it's easy enough to open. So maybe when I get it pulled in and started, I'll bring you back. Okay, so in some instances, this is where we're going to start. This monster has about the same table. This table here is a little bit bigger, but more importantly, it's got a place to stick a drain in so you could actually lubricate as you're drilling, and it's got T-slots, which are very good. I don't think I've used them more than once or twice in the past few decades. I certainly never used the oiler, the automatic oiler, and put that system in. So I'm not going to miss too much there, other than just the stockiness of it. Here's the new one, and it's a pretty simple plate. No T-slots at all. It does have slots, and they're flat. They're not tapered, so you could put a bar across them and bolt stuff down. So it's not terrible. It's certainly something I can live with. For what I do, it's fine. I just tried to swap the tables, and of course the post on the bottom on this one is just a little bit smaller. That wouldn't be too bad. I could make a bushing to make it fit the old one, but then I'd either have to somehow turn down the post on that table, or where this goes into, I'm just putting this down now, wherever this goes into, I'd have to bore it out. I'm not up for that. It's just not worth it for what I'm doing. It's easy enough to catch oil in a pan underneath if I ever do that. And it has slots to bolt to. But it is different. Alright, now we're going to look at the pedestal that it sits on. At first glance, it looks like it's slightly bigger. Certainly the bolt holes where it bolts down are further out. Even the pads that that the bolts go through are further out, so it should be more stable than this. This one rocks pretty good, but it is thinner. This one here is only about half or 2/3 the height of the other one, and I'm gonna say it's thinner, so I don't know if I'm gonna need to worry about reinforcing this. It's not terrible. For what I do with it, maybe I'll just leave it. It's not like it's a lathe rotating a big member or anything. And it also has 2 slots in the front like my old one. So that's interesting. Pretty good, pretty good. 4 bolts for the mast. So next is probably put the mast in, or the post, whatever you want to call it. All right, that's where we are. It's bolted together. I'm not going to show you that. That's just boring. All right, first impressions partway through. The handles seem pretty good. They're solid rod, which is good. And they do give you a wrench, which you're supposed to use to tighten up the bottom bolts. I wouldn't use that to tighten up anything. It's pretty thin. No lock washers. Usually if you want something to stay in place, I think you need lock washers, so I'm going to put some on. I have plenty. I am also going to use some Loctite to hold this to the base. They give you a few Allen wrenches. I haven't figured out yet. I've only gotten to the first step. And the handle to crank it up and down, that might get replaced. We'll see how hard it is to move up and down. There's not a lot of throw, so you don't have a lot of leverage, and it is awfully light. I'm thinking that it's a piece of cast aluminum. It almost feels like plastic, but I don't think plastic would stand up. And they do have an Allen wrench for the side, which I don't think plastic would hold. So that's what we've got that for the handle, and that's where one of the Allen wrenches goes. The column itself also feels kind of light, but for what I do, I suspect it's going to be more than adequate. We'll have to see if I'm going to regret this decision or not. Everything is just a little bit lighter, but almost everything is built lighter these days. They want to save material. They want to save shipping costs. They've done more engineering. They know how close they can get to the breaking point and still remove material. So I'm going to attribute it to that. Yeah, if I went and bought a true machinist's drill press, it would certainly be heavier duty. It would probably also be 2 or 3 times the cost. So that's where we are. I'm getting ready to put the base on. That's really the first step. Well, these bolts fit a socket, an imperial socket, pretty well, 3/4 inch. They're labeled 48 on the back, but the trick is the heads really aren't terribly big. You don't catch a lot of lock washer. You catch some, so I think that's better than none. So we'll see how far in these thread and see how it goes. Okay, so first impressions on assembly. I haven't even started it yet. It's not complete. The bolts I put Loctite on them. I did not put lock washers in them because the bolts are not long enough to put lock washers in. They're flush on the bottom now without it. I had to loosen up that collar to let the mount for the table rotate freely. It was pretty stuck. I think that top collar was just a little too tight. Where the spindle or quill, whatever you want to call it, comes down, that's 1.5 inches lower than on the Craftsman, yet they're about the same height. And I have not looked in here. I don't even know how to open this. Can I just... I guess I have to take it out totally. Yeah, I've got to take this all the way out. Wow, okay. And it certainly has space to make it like the pulley system on the other one. And it probably was initially, and what they did is they just modified it to run this variable width pulley, or shiv, whatever you want to call it. So that's good. I was wondering exactly what they did. So they did a mechanical speed variance, and those apparently wear out quicker than if you ran a real VFD. And knowing that now, I could probably order those spare parts and convert the Craftsman to variable. But that's all right. It's good to have a new one. That's as far as I've gotten. I thought it was actually going to be a VFD. I'm a little disappointed in that. But it's not terrible. It's still better than lifting the cover, moving the motor back, and so forth. And for the amount that I use it, I won't wear that out in my lifetime. Not a youngster anymore, so it doesn't really matter. So that's where we are right now. I'm going to read a little more on the next steps and finish this up, and then we'll actually see how it works. Well, I'm beginning to think this was less and less of a deal. I didn't have the headstock down all the way, and now that it's lowered all the way where it should be, there is 3 inches. It's 3 inches lower than the Craftsman, and you lose a little bit because the base is shorter also. So you're close to 4 inches lower working height, which means you have to bend over more. And it's not a VFD. It's, in fact, as I said, a variable speed drive inside. And that's my fault. I should have looked at it closer. I mean, the way that it's done is the way a lot of variable speed drives were done before. They call it a certain kind of clutch, where the one pulley expands, the other one contracts, so you get your speed change. But those usually had a hand crank on it. This is going to be done with a little servo motor, it looks like, which makes you think that it's more electronic. Having seen that, I probably would not have bought the extra 1-year warranty, because there really are no electronics to go bad. So, on to the next step. I had to temporarily put a bar under the other side to get the post plumb, and then I used the plumb bob on the spindle, quill, whatever, spindle probably, to get that centered over the bottom plate. It doesn't have to be exact, but it's pretty close. So onward. I think the hard stuff is done. We'll see what I come across next. Well, a little more disappointment. Should have done my homework, I guess. But I'm so used to dealing with what they call VFDs commercially. I made an assumption which was bad. This really is not that. And the handle is okay. It's you know, you can turn it on, get up to almost 3,000 RPM, and you get down to about 740. But if you want to go any lower, you have to open this up and change the belts, just like I had to with the 16 speed. You release the motor, you move the belt up or down. It's only a two-step shift system, pulley system, whereas this one has two belts you have to change, and I think there's 4 steps on each pulley. So this is a lot better. I just have to see if that speed range, which one, I can probably just leave it in one of the two for what I do. But I won't know until I stick a drill bit in it and see what happens. So, height-wise, I was debating if I wanted to raise it up, make a 3-inch box for the bottom, which I may still do. That would serve two purposes. It would allow me to raise it up, and it would allow me to level it a little better. So I will probably do that, and I'll probably make it out of 4x4s, or maybe just 2 4x4s, one on the front, one on the back. And perhaps notch them underneath a little so that they don't try to rest flat across the whole end. That would give me my 3 inches back to get the height. I never needed to really lower the table very far, so that's not an issue. It's the being down here working as opposed to up here. So I'm probably going to do that. I won't know until I actually run it. At this point, I'm not dissatisfied enough to return it. It does give me the variable speed. I just have to get used to the fact that it's this mechanical handle on the side. Nothing wrong with that. I had thought instead of buying that, I would do that to the old unit, but the cost of those variable speed setups is almost the cost of a good used 16-speed drill press, so it wasn't economically feasible to do it. The same with this. This is my lathe. That has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's got 6 speeds. Now I guess I could have looked at the front. It's got 6 speeds there. I was really thinking of converting this as well. And I may convert this. This is the toughest one. The little 9-inch South Bend lathe is probably the next one to get some sort of replacement. That one I think I really will do with a VFD though. All right, so much for that. Let me clean up the taper, see how good that fits, and put a drill bit in it. Well, the new variable speed drill press is in place. I solved one of my issues. It was a little too low. It was 3 inches lower than the old one, so I put some blocks in it, cut them out so that I just had contact on the end, so I went over the gap in the concrete, which is apparently a little bit high. The one issue I have with this is that while everything works pretty good, And I don't know if you're going to see it, but it is moving. And that's because this plate on the bottom is too thin. It will flex. So in the future, I may make a plate that fits the same size as the base. Take off the column, get some longer bolts, and put the new plate right over the old and screw it on to double that thickness. I might not even need to do that. I'm looking at it now as I'm talking, and I might just be able to put some bars on the two sides to try to keep the flex out of the middle. But the only reason I would do that is because I'm going to put a lot of pressure on it somehow, which I don't think I'll ever do. It's probably not an issue, but it would be the first thing that I would improve upon. So while this is an improvement, this machine, because it is variable speed, because I do mostly metal, if not exclusively metal drilling, I can stay in the lower speed range and just use the variable speed. I don't really have to open it up to change between high and low ranges. If I did, I would probably be more upset about the way that this thing does variable speed. It's a dual range variable speed, so you have to open it up to change the range. Other than that, I did drill some holes because I needed to put some spacers in the base, and they worked out okay. So there you have it. And now I know why those spacers didn't really help a lot. Thanks for watching. This is a little different than what I normally do, which is repairs. And like, subscribe, dislike, comment, share. The old YouTube mantra. Unlike some of the content creators, I don't make anything on this. I'm way too small of a channel to do it. And it's just good to get some feedback. So there you have it. Morning's job. It said use 2 people to put the head on. I actually was able to do it myself by leaning the post over and putting the headstock on a rolling cart, and I was able to slip it on enough to stand it upright and let it relocate itself in place. And you guys, thanks for watching. Have a good day, and we'll see you on the next one.